back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mickey C and welcome to the LCK Team of the Week for Week 1. For you guys who do not know, this is the Korean League, so let's get right into it. So starting out in the top lane, I've got Samsung Kuwei. Now top lane is a very difficult decision to make because right now with the meta, only tank top laners are being played and you don't see many carry top laners in the current meta. Basically in the top lane right now, you're just playing champions that can soak up damage, and you just got to make sure that you TP at the right time and maybe come up with a few good TP flanks. But apart from that, top laners really can't carry the game, and they're just there to support their team and help them stay alive. And so, but I've decided to go with Samsung Kuwei because he did have two very good performances, and Samsung as a whole had two very good performances against the ROX Tigers. Kuwei himself was up against Smeb, and as we all know, he's a very well established top laner and he's well known on the international stage. But Kuwei definitely had the upper hand on him, going against him with a Maokai going 3-1-11 and following it up with a Poppy game going 4-3-9. So he definitely had the upper hand on Smeb. So I've decided to put Kuwei in my team of the week as the top laner. So now moving on to the jungle, and there was a number of good performances from players such as KT Score, Lyra, Ambition, and as well as Winged, but I've decided to go with someone on his debut who had a very impressive performance against CJ Entus in his 2 games, and that man is ESC Ever's Bless, and he played with Nidalee and then Elise, and he controlled both games really well, and he was much better than his opposing jungler, and I thought he handled things really well on his debut, so I've decided to put him in my team of the week. And also I forgot to mention, he did get an MVP award for his first game on the Nidalee, where he went 6-2-8. Now moving over to the mid lane, and we've got another Samsung player, and his name is Crown, and he played Victor in his first game and then Varus in his second game, and I'm pretty sure he topped the charts for most damage dealt to champions in both games. He did a ton of damage in both games, and he ended up with scores of 7-3-9 and then 9-1-8, and with the second game with Varus, he did manage to pick up the MVP award. He came up with a number of major plays, and you could easily put him as your best player for the week. Overall, I was very impressed by Samsung as a team, and I would like to see how they progress for the rest of the season. Now moving over to the bot lane, and the first position we'll talk about is AD carry, and I've decided to go with Afreeca's Sang-Yoon. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below, but I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. He did manage to pick up an MVP award for his first game on Caitlyn, and he went 8-0-5, and then in his next game as Sivir, he played really well again and went 3-1-8. Now there was also a very impressive performance from KT Arrow, but in the end I decided to go with Sang-Yoon because I felt like his individual performance was more essential to his team winning the game, while Arrow had, a lot of great teammates around him and it helped him carry the game. But Arrow did get the 16 kills in his first game. I think in his first game he went 16-1-6, but his support ended up getting the MVP, and Sang-Yoon overall did get the MVP award, and KT's Arrow didn't get any MVP awards, so I decided to go with Sang-Yoon instead. So finally we have the support position, and I decided to go with KT's Ashani. This was a very easy decision, as he did pick up the MVP award for both games. He went 1-3-22 in his first game as Taric, and then 1-6-14 as Bard in his second game, in a game that his team should have definitely lost. But if you haven't seen the end of that game, go check it out. It's game 2 between KT and MVP, a very intense finish, and Shani did manage to pick up the MVP award, but I will say that KT did not deserve to win that game. But in his first game as Taric, he was very impressive, and I'm quite surprised that Taric has not played a lot more at the professional scene, because he seems to be a very strong champion. But Ashani on Taric was just unstoppable, and basically helped win his team that game very easily, and he did very well. So that's why I've picked him as my support for my team of the week in week 1.